Welcome to my 1 week scrap project challenge where I use as many scraps as I can to help get rid of what I have and make room so I can finally buy new fabric. Which is a big goal I have for this year, is to really just get as much used and gone as I can. And I'm going to start doing more projects like this. So I have decided that I'm going to do a scrap project challenge. So all I'm doing right now is just creating ideas of what I could be making as a way to use my fabric. Lots of ideas, um, but I'm hopeful that some of my scraps will be able to be used for some of these. I don't have large scraps, so a lot of it is either going to be patchwork or smaller items, and so we're going to see how that goes. I'm thinking that, so for Christmas, I had done a uh, pillow where I stuffed it with a full of scraps. So I'm definitely going to do that, or I'll try. And I know baby toys are always good to use a scrap fabric, and I want to do the alphabet for my daughter. I'm going to make it magnet, and we'll see how well that goes. And yeah, so I'm just hoping to get some of these ideas down and done so that I can get as many done during the nap times and after she goes to sleep as I can. And here are all of my usable fabrics that I'm thinking about using. And first I'm going to start with pen elastic holders. I just think that they're going to be super simple. You know, I can knock out a bunch at once, especially for day one. It's just going to be a lot easier because I can just batch sew all of them. But of course, always it's just going to be me cutting for a good majority of it. Now that I have them all cut, it's going to be time to iron. I am the type of sewist where it is just chaos all the time, and that's why I don't know. I just feel like if I iron my fabric before I cut it, then it's just like so much more time spent rather than just ironing when it's done. So I just find this a lot more, I don't know, time efficient. And this is just how I prefer to do it, which, to each their own. And so it's not my pattern, so I'm not going to teach you how to do it, but you can go to Sewcanshe.com, SEW, and find the tutorial there. It's the pen elastic holder. It's a really great pattern. I enjoyed it. It was pretty, self-explanatory and easy to do. I do recommend cutting the elastic maybe an inch shorter. I just feel like it's just too long and it becomes very loose uh, with the way it is. So just make sure to cut off a little elastic. Day one complete, and I finished 6 of these pen elastic holders, and I think it worked really well. Here's just me struggling to show you by putting a very long crochet hook in. But yeah, I think they turned out really well, and I'm excited to show you all of them at the end of this video. Let's start day 2 and see how much we get done. So I am going to do this caddy from Sewcanshe, SEW in the beginning, and I'm going to do the aligning entirely out of scraps, which means lots of patchwork, and I'm going to do the outer in this blue. It's just something I have a lot of that I have no plans for. So after cutting out a bunch of pieces, I am going to iron as much as I can. Yes, I did try to find long enough and thick enough scraps, but most of it I sewed together. I didn't even want to capture all of that on camera, so I patched work as much as I can, and I sewed everything together to get the right dimensions. And now I am putting down some pretty stiff interfacing, at least stiff for what I know. Even though it calls for foam interfacing, I was not buying that. Making this caddy has been on my to-do list for a few weeks now because it's going to be used to hold my daughter's art supplies. So I'm very excited to get this project done so she can use it. So I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam all around for all of these, and then I'll fold them over, sew them again so that the top is bound, and I'll let you know my next step. Okay, I clip them down. I'm going to sew all of them, and then I think I'm going to start stitching them together. Okay, so I sewed the pockets down, and then it'll be to attach all the sides using French seams, but it's late, so I'll do that tomorrow. Okay, so time for French seams. So first you'll sew, okay, sew it together with the right sides facing out at a 1/4 inch seam for both of the edges, and then we'll attach the bottom, and then we'll attach this to the other side of the bottom, and then we'll make it all attached together. So wish me luck. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I didn't do the dividers. I was already done with this project, but it turned out really well and it holds everything, and I'm happy with it. So I haven't even finished the caddy I was making, and I need more motivation. I need a faster project. So I'm going to make this pumpkin pot holder really quick by Stacey Lee. I am going to add a little bit of seam allowance because I can't really fold on the edge. So I'm going to do 2 of these, 1 and then 2. We'll make it happen. And then somehow make binding out of this one. Yeah, good luck me. So before I cut it out, I added a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm just gonna cut it out, and then I'm gonna use this to just possibly trace on the next side. Okay, both of them cut out. I'm going to cut out a layer of Instabright. Hopefully I'm going to have enough. And then I'm going to cut a layer of, oh my god, batting out. And then we'll cut out some binding. Okay, so I have sewn my pumpkins together, finally. I need to iron them both ways, right? I've cut out my batting and my Insilbright, so I have that ready. And then I am going to cut this in half and use that for my binding. And I should have plenty using these two, just folding them in half and cutting them. But yeah, I am going to iron and get started. While I'm at it, I'm also going to quilt this down, and I'm going to quilt in like little pumpkin lines. And then I will add the binding and see how that goes. So binding's not something I'm really always comfortable with, especially around curves. But I didn't think I would have enough if I was to sew them together, so I'm just doing, the lazy method of my own. And I'm just putting it all on at once, where I will then just sew it down. I did have a lot of problems trying to figure out how I wanted to do the loop, but I got it figured out. Lucky me. Um, and I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I think despite the binding, it's super useful and I like it a lot. Update. My caddy took too much time, but I've done multiple pen elastic holders, I've done the caddy, and I have done one pot holder. So it's time. Okay, change of plans. I can't do the alphabet because apparently I don't have a magnetic board. Life sucks. Okay, moving on. I am going to do another pot holder, and then I'm gonna just go through it, my scraps, and see what's like actually usable for literally anything. And then I'm going to get some stuff together to see what I want to use for my scrap butterfly quilt. And then I have some fabric right here. The bottom one is a gingerbread Christmas fabric, and I think I'm gonna use that for like a little bag for myself. It's gonna be super cute. But yeah. Okay, guys, my next project is going to be another pot holder, except Christmas themed. So it's from the Made for Mermaids pot holder, and I am going to use the scrap fabrics that I had used attempting for oven mitts. And while I did succeed, this was a mess up. I don't have enough fabric to do both sides, so I'm going to use this wonderful pack of fabric that I have that I'm going to do that with. And I'm excited, and I think I'm going to do the pocket too. So you get to come along with me for that. I'm the type of sewist where I have to see like significant progress when I sew, or else I feel like I've done absolutely nothing. And doing small projects like this actually really helped me feel like, oh, I've accomplished so much. And I'm trying out this new fabric pen that I got for Christmas, and it's all right. Like it works. I think it works better when it's not doing patchwork because all the bumps that it has to go over. So as long as it's not doing that, then I think it works pretty well. But otherwise, it's okay. I mean, I'm not gonna use it for certain things. Like when I'm making clothes, I probably won't use it. I really like using pens when I quilt and all that. Like when I used the pen here, it was super smooth. So that was nice. So I'm determining which one to use for my bias strips. I think I'm going to use this one for one of them, and then I'm going to use this one. It is my favorite, but I'm using it on my scraps, so let's do it. I'm gonna cut it out, come back. I think it's surprising about how many people I've seen say how much they like ironing, and I truly hate it. Like, I leave it as the last step that I have to do. I know it's important, the less I have to do it, the better. I also hate making bias tape. I was even thinking, I was like, if I have to buy anything, it would be bias tape because I hate making it so much. It's just so much time and it doesn't even stay that well, and I'm not even good at using it yet. So, yeah. But like all things, practice makes perfect. So, I am going to do the simplest quilting method ever. I'm just gonna do an X. That's enough. That's it. And then I am just gonna try sewing bias tape the correct way. I'm going to sew it down, and then I'm gonna flip it over, sew it down again, and I'm gonna try my best. When I have to do a straight bias tape, looks great. I'm very proud of it. Now I'm gonna sew it down all around, and then I'm gonna sew my bias tape on just so it doesn't move, just to be sure. So far, this process is like okay. Now I just need to pin it and then sew it down. It's done, and I like it. The back's pretty ugly, but it's useful. It's not, to woo anyone. So, good job, me. Yay. Okay, mid process. These are my scraps that are not going to be used as stuffing, and I have to separate them into either trash, stuffing, which you guys can't see, or donations to my friend who is learning how to sew and would like some scraps to learn and practice. So, yeah, the most boring part before I move onto my next scrap agenda item thing. Onward. And I'm really just looking to see if they're long enough, if they're usable for, easy projects. So if they are stretchy, I'm going to throw them away. If they're enough to make some form of bias tape, I hope to keep them, but I'm looking for stuff that is big enough for me to keep, make a project out of, um, and then move on. So like this floral one, I have enough to actually, I think, make myself a corset out of it. And that's one of my goals this year, so I'm gonna keep it and do that. But otherwise, most of it's gonna go because I have so many stretchy scraps in it. It's just like I'm not gonna use them. I have no idea what to do with them, so they have to go. And I'm hoping to give my friend as much, variety as possible with it. And I have all this tool, not gonna use it. Goodbye. So yeah, I'm useful, hoping that it's big enough, and as long as it doesn't stretch, we should be good. So yeah, and getting rid of this has been fantastic. It's like starting over, starting anew. I do admit this feels like cheating, but that's okay because this new year is about starting to declutter, getting rid of things I don't need, and, making sure that what I do have, I am happy with it and I can use it. So, good luck, me, good luck, us. And yeah, it's been separated. So, I went through all of it. I have a nice amount in this box for my friend, as well as determining you know, putting everything to where it needs to go. I'm very happy with the little that I have left, which means I can finally move on to my next little project. So, one of the goals that I had for the scrap challenge, this week of scrap challenges, was that I would gather scraps for this petite butterfly quilt. It's been like a goal that I've had, especially like this year. It's one of my goals. And I looked through my scraps and I really didn't have a lot that was, usable in terms of cotton because a lot of it was stretchy, surprisingly. So I need 30 pairs for the top and then 30 pairs for the bottom. And I have 2 pairs for the top, 2 pairs for the bottom. And I don't really have any bags available right now, like regular bags or bins. So I'm just going to use this gallon bag and I am going to just label it, right? And I'm also going to include some paper, just a note card, so that I can stay organized. I'm going to need 30 pairs. And bottom, also 30 pairs. My goal is just to make it completely out of scraps, so 2 on top, 3 on the bottom. So yeah, now we're gonna go together and I'll put it probably in my file cabinet while we go through the year, and we'll just keep adding to it because I want to make sure I have a manageable amount of scraps as we go through the year. So yeah, and then I think I'm just gonna do one more project because today's the last day. Today's Sunday, and then yeah, and then I can check this off my bingo card, which I'll show you guys, and then we'll be good. Okay, time to get rid of the first thing. So I wasn't able to do any more projects, which is absolutely fine because I made quite a bit. I made 6 of these pen elastic holders, which is awesome. They just came out of my scrap fabrics. Do I need them? No, but I have some friends who might like them, and I can give them for gifts later, so that's nice. Made 2 pot holders, which we desperately needed, so that's nice. And I've been planning to make one of these for a while now, and they work really well. I've already used them. And something that I'm very happy finally got done is my daughter's basket, her little caddy, which obviously didn't do the dividers like I said, but it looks really well. It works really well. She was so excited when she saw it. Like she walked past and she went, "Oh!" and then ran over and started playing with it. So definitely worth it. But yeah, and then I started doing my scraps for my scrap quilts, and then these are all the scraps that can't be turned into anything and will be made into pillows or something of the sort later on. So yeah, thanks for following along with me, guys. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll have some more stuff for you to see soon. But this challenge was a success. I mean, my scrap projects went from a huge full basket that I didn't know what to do with to a very manageable size that I can probably, keep low as we go through the year. So thanks, guys. Join me next time.